So there's one thing that you must do in order to win the day, every single day. Because winning the day is what sets up the whole rest of your life for success. Let's go over a word I like to use called ritual. A lot of people talk about morning rituals. A lot of people talk about spiritual rituals, spiritual practices. But what do we really mean? What are we really talking about when we say ritual? A ritual is something that can be done over and over and over again. It may not always be exactly the same, but let's say, for example, you wake up and you go and you drink a glass of water, and then you do 10 minutes of stretching and a meditation and maybe some morning gratitude practice. If you do that sequence every single day, it becomes a ritual. It becomes ritualistic. It becomes routine. And the benefits of that are so many, but purely at the base level, it gets you in the rhythm of doing something consistently. It becomes familiar. It's like putting on your pants. You put your pants on the same way every time. And that familiarity sets us up and hardwires our brain to expect success for the day. Now, I remember a time when I was in my mid-20s and I was traveling around and I was still working on figuring out who I was and what I was about, what I was here to do in this world. And the thing that grounded me the most was having a consistent morning ritual practice. Now, just to be clear, it can look like anything. Generally, it involves one or all three of these domains: something physical, something in your body that gets you in your body, feeling in your body, out of your head, just senses online is what it really takes. Senses online, something in the physical. Then usually it's something mental, something that requires a quieting of the mind, an engagement of the mind in a really gentle way. And lastly, something spiritual or something connecting. If you don't like the word spiritual, then something that connects you to the bigger picture. Physical, mental, spiritual / connection. One or all of these three domains and anything that really fits into them. So in the physical realm, it could be stretching, it could be yoga, it could be exercise. It could be as simple as going for a walk. It could be just doing some rotations in bed, some back stretches. It doesn't have to be something robust. And I think that's one of the key messages here. A lot of people think, oh, I got to get my morning practices in. I got to do my morning rituals. And it becomes a burden. It becomes stressful. It doesn't become something that's nourishing and elevating. So whatever it is, whatever's appropriate for you, whether it's going to the gym, going for a walk, taking a cold shower, that's also something physical that will engage the senses. You decide. But it has to be something that fits and supports and nourishes you. Now, on the mental side of things, a lot of the mental game is about quieting the mind. We're being present with what the mind is saying. So some version of meditation or mindfulness, awareness. It could be sitting and gazing out the window and focusing on your breath. It could be focusing on the sun entering your window, or just sitting still with your eyes closed and listening to the ambient noise, or any other version of a mindfulness awareness practice. There's so many of them, but something that's going to nourish, awaken, quiet, tend to the mind or the mental space. The spiritual domain is so much more open, right? There's so many things we could do. You could go outside and you can have a conversation with the tree. You could greet the sun and say good morning. You could just sit quietly in your room at your altar or next to your bed and just offer up gratitude. Give thanks. I'm so thankful for my life. Thank you for giving me life on this day, putting breath and air back in my body. It can be so many different things. And this is where it's really important to connect with what's going to nourish you. For me, it's praying in the morning. And my version of prayer always begins with gratitude. And then speaking to my ancestors and speaking to Creator and to different entities that I have a connection with that remind me of who I am and allow me to feel like I'm supported. So whatever that connection practice is for you that connects you to the outside world, it could be going for a walk or taking your shoes off and going and standing in the dewy, cold, wet grass and just looking up at the sun in the morning and just taking that in. It doesn't have to be something where you're holding mala beads and doing some real robust practice. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Don't let that be the obstacle that gets in your way. Something in the physical realm, something in the mental realm, something in the spiritual connection realm that can be done on a daily basis. And most importantly, this should be the first thing that you do every single day. Why is that? Because if you establish a routine and a ritual first thing in the morning, it becomes just as routine and ritual as brushing your teeth, using the bathroom, taking a shower, those things that you already do in your morning routine. They create familiarity. They create a sense of comfort and ease for your whole being. entering into your day. So we just want to add some things to that are going to nourish the body, the mind, the spirit, the soul, even more going into your day. And whether it takes you 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, however long, there's no right way or wrong way to do this. It's whatever fits for you. Whatever it is, it must be consistent. It must be something that you do with regularity. Okay, here and there, maybe you miss a day. But notice, how do you feel when you miss one of those days? How do you feel when you're not connecting every first thing in the morning? Maybe you jump right into something because you have a busy mind and a busy day, and you say, okay, I'll get to my morning rituals later. And before you know it, it's 3:00 in the afternoon and you haven't done it. So just notice, just observe, especially for you parents out there. Okay, this is something that I had to learn too, is I used to have a really robust morning practice and then entered my children, and I had to see my routine with my kids become my morning ritual. So making lunches, packing lunches, changing diapers, feeding kids, getting them ready to go out the door, and doing it with ease and gentleness in my mind, using my body and being present in my body instead of just hurling myself across the kitchen and all over the house. And then connecting with my kids, connecting with what's greater. You know, sometimes in the morning I'll do gratitude with my children and do prayers with my children. And that has also at times been my morning ritual, my morning routine. So there's no excuses, because it doesn't have to be this huge production. It just has to be something that really supports, nourishes, and connects for you. Decide what that is. But make it a priority, because if you do this consistently over and over and over again, you're going to feel better entering your day. And even if you get nothing else accomplished for the rest of the day, you'll know that you did the baseline maintenance on yourself. It's like changing your oil every 3,000 miles, right? At least you took care of the machine, so you know that it can go forward into the next day. Give this a shot. If you don't already have morning rituals or routines and practices in your day, see how it goes. And then if you need some support, reach out to us. Reach out to the Rising Man community. Ask for some help with this, because this is one of the cornerstones, I think, of every single man's life, is having a morning practice. And if you need support with that, we're right here for you. And make sure you tune in next week for another Monday morning meditation.